Oh, praise Yeshua. Haya, Shura, Haya. Hashem Shoya, walking on Shua. This is Shabar Israel, and I'd like to speak about a prophetic vision that the Most High has shown me concerning last week. I posted a video concerning the Most High requires 100 years. He answered me through a prophetic vision. He showed me this, Ecclesiastes 3:15. So I appeared in like a Western antique restaurant or bar, something like that, a brothel or something like that. You could clearly tell that it was ran by cowboys. And so walked in, and there was a bartender there. He was a Hebrew, and I was talking to him, and he was talking about different things and where he was located, and he stated the word Florida. As we can see what's going on in Florida right now. And so I walked over there, and there was a table, a wooden table, and there was a so-called native there sitting there. And she mentioned 2 tribes. And she said, you know, you need to be collecting what belongs to you, like that. And she said, and an additional 10% since the 1900s. Then it ended. And so I received wisdom, instruction, understanding concerning this. Now, this is part 2 of what the Most High showed me concerning the required 100 years. Because it's something else that happened pertaining to that before the second part of it. So, let's rewind back to the first part, because I had to do it that way so you can understand. I appeared in a white robe and all white. And I was at a church, and there were people there in the pews and the pulpit. I was in the choir, and I walked down the steps to the pews where people were sitting, and a woman stood up on the right hand side, and she stated her uncle or something like that, a father, has passed, and the physician required. And she stated that the physician required $1,900. You see that for the bill, and that she was not paying it. And these were Hebrews. She looks like she could have been a Gadite. I believe they were. It was a bunch of them, but they were all females. And so he stood up in the middle of the church at the altar, and he was baffled and basically saying he wasn't paying it. And then he said the physician requires an additional 10%. Then the scene changed, and then we went outside, and people came up. They were Edomites, and they were wearing baseball uniforms. And I made my way to a vehicle to get something, and my mother was present there, and she was waiting on me. I said something to him as in reference being a Yankee and game over in that sense of the word. So I went back in, and my mother was there, and she had prepared a bag for me. I think it was a bag full of healing medicines. And then the scene translated into the scene where the bar and the brothel, whatever you want to call it, in the Western world. You see that? So I received wisdom, instruction, and understanding concerning it all. We were present at a church, and that church was named Bethlehem. You see that? It represents Bethlehem, Judah. You see that? And so what the Most High is saying here, the woman that stood up was the tribe of Gad against these so-called pastors, preachers, and false prophets, false prophetess, you name it, and told them the Most High has required you pay back what you've done, because you've been responsible as well. That's why the Yankees were there on the outside looking in, because your pastor, your preacher, your false prophet, your false prophetess, wizards that peep in and out, they are responsible for the further dumbing down of the Hebrew nation. You see that? So when she stood up and said it is required of you $1,900, I asked the Most High what it meant, and he told me in the next part of the vision, 100 years plus 10%. You see that? 1900s, since the 1900s. So that's what the Most High is requiring of the Hebrew Israelite and the Edomite Israelite. They were all in it all together concerning the tribe of Gad as well. Because the Messiah told me Gad was on the slave ships. It's a twist to all of this. You see that? Hand in hand with suppressing our nation all the way up to the very end. And these, oh, you might say, these specific two tribes he mentioned, I'm not going to say because I don't have to. Certain things I don't have to do. But you notice that the Most High had the bartender represent Florida. And we see what's going on in Florida. We all know what happened in Florida. Alligator bait, go Gators right now. You see that? So the Most High required this of the Hebrew and the Gentile Edomite and the Hebrew Israelite. You see that? They played a dangerous game, and now they had to fit the bill for him. And so he couldn't say a word. Because when she rose up, the rest of them rose up with her. And one more thing. Notice that the woman, she also represented Chokmah, or wisdom. She said the physician. You see that? Because why? Christ came for those that needed a physician. You see that? The Christ is charging them. You see that? For what they have done. He's charging your pastor, your preacher, your false prophet. Your false prophet is a reincarnated hypocrite on the corner. Your Christians. You see that? Roman Catholic Church, he's charging all of them. Hebrew camps, they got blood on their hands. And the Most High has required it. For the last 100 years plus 10%. See that? Give her double. Just like mother. You see that? So this is the vision concerning the required 100 years. Because we know a so-called slavery is supposed to have been abolished. What is it? 1913, I believe. I don't think it's 1813. So you had ample opportunity to let these Hebrews know who they were. But you chose to push the agenda of your oppressor. You see that? Your brother was not Esau, Jacob's brother. You see that? So those who have an ear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. Chicago will be the first to fall. He requires that what is passed. And Jamestown, Virginia, the last, standing. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And for those who refuse to take part in the tree of life, and drink from the fountains of living water, let them be unjust still. And the bride say, come. And the wife say, come. And the Spirit say, come. Yeshua come. Thy kingdom come. Amen.